So I'm Torsten Gatu, I'm VP of Sales and Marketing at Softube. So I was involved a lot with the development of the TubeTech gear, especially the Seal 1B compressor. I did a lot of the framework programming and the graphics programming for the original plugin that was released in 2007. Our collaboration with TubeTech got started way back in 2006. So we were just getting started in the industry. And TC Electronic had taken note of our modeling expertise and commissioned us to make a branded, authentic emulation of a flagship compressor for their PowerCore platform. So expectations were very high, of course, since from TC, since they wanted a competitive advantage for their DSP platform, and for us, since it was a chance to prove ourselves in the pro audio industry. And obviously for TubeTech as well, since the Seal 1B compressor is really their baby and one of the most defining compressors in the industry since the late 80s. I think John Peterson, Mr. TubeTech, was a bit hesitant at first, not being used to software, but he soon warmed up to us, actually, me and Arvid, two bright-eyed young computer engineers going to visit him in the winter of 2006. And John used to be a school teacher, so he really made use of that patient quality that a great teacher has. And so in the end, I mean, it was really, the work was a great combination of our, I guess, young ambition and passion and his experience and patience. The sonic characteristics of the TubeTech gear, I think, is that of meticulous pro audio quality, really. And for the Seal 1B compressor specifically, I think it's really about how the attack grabs hold of the sound pretty quickly, but then how the release is a warm, steady, slow curve that just gently levels out the material. And I think it really makes the sound source come alive, especially for acoustic instruments and vocals. One surprise when working on the original Seal 1B compressor was the characteristics of the dynamics of the optical element. The release tends to be very long in the Seal 1B. It can easily be up to even 10 seconds long. So, but it still has a really fast response to the attack. So it was a real challenge to find those modeling methods that could capture both of these properties. Another interesting challenge of working with the Seal 1B was the VU meter, actually. This was the first time we made a VU meter that was supposed to behave exactly as it did on the hardware. And this might seem like a detail, but we soon found that it was way more that was needed than just a naive implementation. So we actually made a separate simulation just for the VU meter, capturing the correct overshoot and everything. And I mean, which in the end turned out to be a super accurate representation of what the VU meter, or how the VU meter actually works. So the original plugins were overhauled completely in 2018 because we knew that there were certain enhancements we could do to the modeling. You know, things that we couldn't do 10 years ago. And this was both in terms of it being too expensive in CPU consumption at the time, but also, I mean, we've learned new modeling techniques that we could use to get a more correct hardware behavior. Also, due to popular demand, we decided that we should add some new features that we knew were very requested. So adding parallel compression and sidechain filters were pretty much a given for the new ones. On top of that, the graphics, being cutting edge in 2007, obviously needed some, love and some high resolution images. Yeah, my favorite use for the TubeTech gear is that I tend to use them a lot on acoustic instruments like guitar and piano and such. But I always use them for vocals. And it's exclusively what I use on my vocal bus. There's just no other way to get the weight and the grab that the TubeTech gear provides, I think.